Hello, hello everyone. Okay, my name is Antonio. Thank you very much for coming. We are going to wait for a couple of minutes, okay, in order to see if we have more people. So let's wait 2 minutes, okay? Thank you. Okay, let's start. Uh, as I say, thank you very much for coming, everyone. And of course, thank you very much, RP and all the organization to inviting me for this session. Let's start. Okay, I heard some echo. Let's say, okay, now I think it's better. Great. So as I say, thank you very much everyone for coming today. Today we are going to talk about chatbots and AI support in HR. My name is Antonio. We come from Spain, Madrid. Okay, let me start with a short introduction about myself. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a Chatbot Factory. A Chatbot Factory is a technological company, and we help and support big companies, multinational companies, to optimize and automate their HR processes and procedures. Okay, I built a multinational, a startup, and I built a company 2 years ago. But all my background is in HR. I started working as a recruiter 20 years ago, fortunately for me. And I started in a restaurants company. We had a lot of restaurants around Spain. Then I developed my career in different positions in HR till the moment that I became an HR business partner in Funhouse. Funhouse is another multinational company for telecommunication. Then I started as an HR director in Uno de 50. Uno de 50 is a Spanish jewelry company. And at that time, we had a huge expansion plan. We opened stores around the world, in the United States, in Europe, in different countries. And my next stage was in Inditex. Maybe the majority of the audience know Inditex. Inditex is the biggest retail company around the world. We have Zara, Massimo Dutti, Bershka. And when I had the opportunity to be the international HR manager for different countries here in Europe, I was responsible for 15 countries: Russia, Nordic countries, Croatia, Serbia, and someone else. And I had the opportunity to be responsible for those countries, and also to have the possibility to see different realities. And it was in Russia, by the way, the first time that I heard about chatbots. This was 5 years ago, more or less. And 5 years ago is when something started in my mind in order to create my own company. And that's why we created a chatbot factory. It's something that today we are going to see across our chatbots, and how we help companies to automate and to optimize their HR processes. Okay, We normally work with multinational companies, sectors, retail, restaurants, contact center, health. I mean, too many different companies and sectors. But basically, our main strengths is to help those companies to to become better in their processes across chatbots and AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to share with you is, from my point of view, with this new normal context, what are our main HR pains? These HR pains has become important from last 5-10 years, but today, with this strange situation that unfortunately we are living, we have some aspects that the majority of the companies are worried about it. First thing, it's employee experience. Employee experience is it's really important for the majority of the companies, but even though taking into account the situation where the majority of the employees are working from their home, and everything from employee perspective is waiting for everything personalized in terms of employee journey and this type of things. To find tools and technology to help those companies and companies in general to enforce the employee experience is really important. I don't know if you have heard about Netflix or even Amazon. Those companies, these big uh, multinational companies, 60 or 70% of their customers come from personalized playlist or personalized announcement. So this is an example to see how important it is to personalize the journey or the experience for users and of course for employees. And today we are going to see how chatbots and AI is going to help in this type of aspect. Okay. Second thing is engagement. Engagement when we are working from our home. This is something quite difficult. It's been difficult for many years, but today, working from home or avoiding this possibility to contact people, to have this type of technologies is really helpful, and from my point of view is key for big companies. So commitment and productivity, it's something that can increase if we create we um, create, yes, this type of procedures with chatbots or artificial intelligence. Employer branding, of course. Employer branding, when I say employer branding, I'm talking about when you are hiring people. According to the studies, more than 60% of companies do not answer their job applicants. It's dramatic, this number and this percentage, because normally those applicants are also customers, and when the experience is not so well for them, probably is going to affect in our businesses. So of course, when we were creating our product with chatbots, we thought that we have to find a way to give feedback to our employees, to give feedback to our candidates. And today we're going to see how is the way to do it across this technology. Okay. All right. Lack of efficiency. Before I was attending to another session, and the speaker was saying that the majority of the companies are still using Excel files for their procedures and their policies. And of course, I have used before. I would say that I'm one of the expert in Excel, as the majority of the HR professionals. And this is a pity, because I think in HR, in human resources, we we need this digitalization uh, quite faster in order to automate our procedures. And of course, when we face this technology with chatbots, you are going to see that our productivity and efficiency is going to become much higher, than using the traditional ways to implement policies and procedures. And at the end, I would like to talk about world of talent and new generation, something that is quite related, because today I think that the majority of the applicants, they chose the companies and not the opposite. And this is something really important when you are creating your strategy in terms of employer branding or employee experience. And again, this technology is really helpful because today, no matter where you are in the metro or the metro station or whatever, majority of people or even young people, millennials or such generations, they're using their smartphone at every moment. So the chatbots, it's really simple, and it's really similar as where we are typing with our friends. And of course, today we are going to see one example in order to help you in those policies. Right. Okay. One question. I would say this question across the platform, but taking into account that I'm sharing my screen, I don't see how many participants there are in this moment. But I would ask you this question. Do you imagine a talent department with robots instead of recruiters? Probably the majority of people are thinking that, okay, why not? Robots are introducing in the majority of big companies, and it's something that is becoming quite normal. But when we think about talent department, okay, there are some ambiguity that maybe some people say that it's not so easy to find robots. But let me see. I'll show you a video, and then we will see if this is possible or not. Okay.
Welcome, Oliver. Glad to see you put on your blue shirt for the interview.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome.
Are you feeling stressed?
Just a bit.
Please allow me to play some piano music to make you feel more comfortable.
I feel a bit better now, thank you.
Glad to hear that. Tell me, why should I hire you?
I've been passionate about courses. I'm a boy.
Okay, let's do a little test. Can you show me where my electric compressor is?
Sure. Here.
Perfect. Can you explain how my 360-degree? I think I'm going to keep you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. What do you think? I mean, this is on the spot, of course, and but also it's something that it's possible. Indeed, they present this card in one of the shows. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, and they have a chatbot or a robot who was saying and was doing this job interview. I mean, it's something that you can see that it's a little bit strange, but I'm sure, and as Ginny Romeri, the former CEO of IBM, said, AI will change 100% of jobs over the next decade. And it's something that even with this pandemic, I think is becoming even faster. So today you will have the opportunity to see one chatbot running as a recruiter. And then at the end of this session, you would ask me some questions about all this technology and how do we do these interviews through chatbots. Okay, right. Let's start with this technology, and I think, as I said, this is the right moment to automate your recruitment processes with chatbots or AI that basically is quite similar, because now with this pandemic situation, it's even more difficult to have these one-to-one interviews. And the idea with this solution is to substitute all this pre-selection, I would say, that big companies have been doing from decades. I mean, this screening to see if your job offer, how many candidates are applied, and then if this candidate is okay or not, or whatever, and then the telephone interview, all these processes, you will see that chatbot is able to do it. As I told you, our customers are or clients are big companies, and normally, I mean, if you have these regularly hirings or you have a big attraction in terms of talent and you don't have enough hands to control it, maybe chatbot is a one solution for your HR department. So in order to understand how it works, we have the chatbot recruiter, who is the part of the candidate is going to deal with. And on the other hand, we have the SaaS management platform. It's a platform that we have built from our background, from our experience. And the idea is to help HR professionals to go through their HR and recruitment processes after the situation that candidates um, has done with the chatbot recruiter. So today you will see how it works, and I would like to know what's your opinion about it. Okay, in order to understand how is the solution, and this is something that is not a fiction as we have seen in this Volvo spot. It is something real. So how is the candidate workflow? Okay, first thing, imagine that uh, I'm going to become a candidate from now. So imagine that I'm a candidate and I see a job offer in LinkedIn, for example. I apply to this job offer, and automatically I'm going to receive an SMS and an email from the company with one invitation. This invitation is going to say, okay, thank you for applying this job offer. In order to start with the recruitment process, please do this online interview through this link. The candidate will press this link, and automatically the chatbot is going to appear. Chatbot is going to make this interview that normally lasts around 12, 15 minutes. And during this interview, the chatbot is going to ask some specific questions that the company requires. I mean, we adapt the chatbot and the look and feel of the chatbot according to each client. And according to the answers that the candidate is going to make, behind the chatbot, we have an algorithm, and this algorithm is going to decide if the candidate it's okay for the next step or not. So next step would be to see all this information in our SaaS platform in order to see, okay, we are going to see the file and the scoring of this candidate comparing with the ideal candidate or ideal position. So thanks to this algorithm, we are going to see the percentage of accuracy for the position that the candidate has applied in order to avoid all these traditional way to do it. The telephone interview, the screening, I mean, everything is done by the chatbot. And the most interesting thing is automatically, and you don't have to do anything. The only thing that you have to do is to wait to see all the candidates entered in your platform and advance with the next step if you want to make a schedule for a one-to-one interview through Meet or through Zoom or through whatever platform you need. Okay. The third step is the feedback. As I said before, when we were creating the product, we thought that, okay, we need to find a way to give feedback to the candidates, because 60% of candidates, it's a lot. So how do we face and how do we solve this problem? When the candidate do this interview, they receive an email automatically, always on behalf of the name of the company. I mean, a type of factory doesn't appear in any communication. So the candidate received this email, and this email says, okay, thank you for your time, thank you for your experience with our virtual assistant recruiter, and also we give them another link for another chatbot who is going to be able to give them feedback across the whole recruitment process. So this is really interesting because from our point of view, uh, we inverse the way to do the recruitment process. Normally, you have to go through the candidates, you have to call them to say, okay, this is the right moment to make a short interview. And now it's completely the opposite. The chatbot is going to make the interview when the candidate wants, and the feedback is the same. I mean, from the moment that the chatbot has done the interview, the candidate is able to interact with this other chatbot in order to get this feedback of of the recruitment process. Okay, this is the way that we normally solve the whole candidate workflow. Right. Um, I don't know because chatbot is becoming, more popular. But today you are going to see a chatbot on live, and I would like to share with you what are the main benefits to use a chatbot recruiter in your company or in your HR policies. The first thing is the immediate response. Um, as I told you before, in a traditional way, you have to go and to find the best moment to do these interview calls or to do this screening. You have to wait when the candidates has applied, etc. So now with this technology, it's something automatically. So you don't have to wait anything. The only thing that you have to wait is to have all this information in your platform. Other thing it's important is that the chatbot is going to evaluate the whole candidates. I mean, no matter if in your job offer you have 500 or 1000 candidates, chatbot is going to make this job for you, and we try to adapt the conversation according to the policy or according to the culture of the company in order to adjust this algorithm and also this experience, in order to to have more or less the same experience that the candidate could have having this interview by the phone. Okay. Okay. Another aspect is available 24/7. Of course, we don't have absenteeism with this type of tools, and it's not a short thing. I mean, this is quite important because even in the weekends when you have a peak of sales or when you need to hire a lot of people in a short time, this type of technologies is quite helpful. Of course, as I told you, the chatbot is able to give feedback across the recruitment process. It's multi-device. You can run the chatbot with the smartphone. That normally is the 95% of the candidates make this interview through the smartphone. But also you can do it through your tablet or desktop, or it's multi-device. It's not a problem. You can cover all your geographical coverage. I mean, no matter in which country you are, that we can develop this chatbot in your countries. Um, of course, another important thing, this chatbot permit us to adapt and to customize the experience in terms of logos, colors, even the way that the chatbot is going to approach the candidate. Some companies wants to do it more, I would say, formal. In other case, they permit us to use some GIF and some other functions. So it's really interesting that thanks to this technology, our HR procedures is becoming easier. And at the end, thanks to this company, we can upload CVs, files, photos, audios through the chatbot. So let me, because I only have 5-10 minutes, I'm talking quite a lot. So let me show you a chatbot that we have in order to see how it works. Imagine that I have applied for a job offer. When I press to the link, the first thing that I would see would be the chatbot. The first thing that the chatbot does is, "Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. My name is Alex, and I'm going to be your virtual recruiter. This online interview will be the first step in your recruitment process, and that allows to get more about myself in this case." You say this, if I am ready, I'm going to say yes. Okay, great. Okay, here the chatbot is going to tell me that if I make a mistake, I can write back, and I would respond again the question. This is quite helpful if I mean the candidate make an error. First thing that I need to accept is the terms of privacy policy. I mean, GDPR here is super important. So I would say, okay, I accept. And the first thing then he's going to ask me is my name. Okay, I'm going to put Antonio. I'm glad to chat with you, Antonio. Okay, thank you. Now, please type your last name. Okay, I'm going to put Corral. This is my last name. Excellent, Antonio. All right. Okay, how did you know about us? Imagine that I saw this job offer in LinkedIn. So these are some options. I would say LinkedIn. Okay. Before starting and give you advice, take it easy, respond my questions calmly, okay? How do you feel? Okay, cool or a little bit nervous? I would say a little bit nervous because I don't know how many people are listening to me, but okay, don't worry. You only have to respond honestly and keeping calm, which is the position that you want to apply. Imagine that in this company, okay, here we have had the logo of Apple Factory, but normally, as I told you before, we normally put the logo of the company, etc. Here we have different options for this candidate, different positions that I can apply. Imagine that I want to apply for commercial agent. Okay, commercial agent. So at this time, the interview is going to start. Okay, first thing that the chatbot is going to ask me is the ID card. Why the ID card? Because it's the only way to see if this candidate has done before the interview. So in my case, it's the first time that I'm doing the interview, so everything is okay. As the chatbot is going to say, first time with us, which is my nationality. Okay, I'm Spanish. I say Spanish, all right. Okay, what's my current situation? I'm a student, home worker, employed, or unemployed. I'm employed, let's say. So this is the way that normally we develop chatbots. Okay, we're going to start with the first part of the interview. Do you have a call center experience? I would say yes. This is a guide interview, as you know. Understood. For how long have you been working in a call center? Let's say that I have a lot of experience. I would say more than 12 months. Do you have sales telemarketing experience? Yes. Okay. Next question. Great. And with collections, do you have professional experience? I would say no. And finally, do you have portability services experience? Okay, I would say no. I would like to show you how do we cover the competence questions, because the chatbot is able to, okay, I'm going to put Jonathan. The chatbot is able to assess competence as well. So normally the thing that how do we do this approach is giving them one situation, one scenario. Now you're going to see, okay, I'm going to share different scenarios, always giving you two different options to choose from. There is no right or wrong responses. So for example, when you are offering a product to a person, what is the most important? Explain patiently the characteristics of the product that you are selling, or offer the product that is more profitable for the company. As you know, okay, this is more or less the way that we are going to see the dominances in those answers, and then we can create the profile of the candidate. Okay, quality service, another question, and then we can continue with the presentation. When you have reached your sales goal for the month, you prefer to be focused offering the quality service, or you request to your boss to have a higher challenge. Okay, higher challenge. And they continue. I mean, the chatbot would be able to ask me more questions. Then normally the chatbot asks me to upload a photo, my resume. Imagine that the company wants to see a video presentation. So all these options are able through this technology. Okay, the platform. We are not going to see the platform, but the only thing that I would like to show you is the possibilities and functionalities that this SaaS management platform permit us. Through this information, because in this platform you can see the pipeline of all your candidates evaluated through the chatbot, then you will be able to schedule appointments through the platform, to get feedback, I mean, the possibilities are really, really diverse. And of course, monitoring your recruitment processes. Okay, the demo we have seen before, and here we are going to a little bit faster in order to keep some time for Q&A. But let me show you 2 or 3 slides more in order to see how helpful could be this technology. Okay, here we make a comparison or between old way and the new way. I mean, in the old way, we have to do the screening one by one, and in this case, the evaluation algorithm assess all your candidates. So we are going to save a lot of time. Second step would be a telephone interview. In this case, is done by the chatbot. Schedule interviews one by one. Through the platform, you can do it automatically and get feedback if you can, because as I told you, 60% of companies, they do not answer their job applicants. So in this case, chatbot gives feedback to all of them. What's the result? I mean, the time spent with the old way or traditional recruiting are weeks, and this is the way that, I mean, the face of the recruiter. And with the new way, the recruiter is happier, and the time spent normally it's a few days, I mean, even less than a week. Aspect to consider implementing chatbots. Let me show you 4 advice if you are considering to implement chatbots from our experience, and then we will see also some other examples to use chatbots in other policies and procedures. First thing is biased algorithm and continual learning. Probably you heard this article from Amazon where they were using AI and algorithms to do this screening and assess candidates. And what happened finally? I mean, the algorithm was based through, I mean, the person who was programming the algorithm. And the thing was that this algorithm was male chauvinist. I mean, if the way that you are programming your chatbots are based, you are going to have the same problems as you had before. So, I mean, pay attention about the way that you are going to program and to do these requirements in order to have an equal approach for every candidate. Second thing is to pay attention about cultural differences. Why we say that? Because, for example, we have customers in Spain, of course, in Europe, in Latin America, in United States, and when we are going to develop a chatbot in Colombia, for example, as you know, they speak Spanish as well, but the way that they do the approach with the candidates is completely different as we normally do here in Spain. So, I mean, you have to pay attention about these small things because finally it's quite important. I mean, the approach for the chatbot, even if you are using facial recognition, that some companies provide these functionalities, in some cultures, this facial recognition is not permitted. So, I mean, I think it's important to take into account. GDPR, as you saw in the demo that I showed you, this is the first thing that you have to answer if you permit the chatbot to give all the information that's going to allow. I mean, no matter if it's information through your interview, also your photo, your picture, resume, video. I mean, all these type of things in terms of GDPR, you have to delimit carefully if you don't want to have a lot of problems finally. And the fourth thing that we have faced in our conversations, as I told you, we normally work with big companies, and this threat feeling. I suppose that you have heard this a lot of articles saying that AI is going to steal my job or not. I mean, finally, the study says that finally the result is going to be, I mean, chatbots or AI is going to create more jobs than is going to destroy. But I mean, it's something that we need to balance. This is another topic that I wanted to share with you, some information about LinkedIn. These are some metrics in terms of satisfaction, optimization of the time, the saving time, etc. And this is the last slide. Then I don't want to extend that much. These are some examples in employee journey that we can develop. I mean, in a welcome pack onboarding, to use a chatbot for these cases or for these policies, or even an employee care line to answer a frequently asked question. This technology is really helpful for development or even exit interview. Those are really important and also real practical examples to use chatbots. Okay, that's it. I think I extend a little bit in my presentation. I'm going to stop my I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and that's it. Okay. Uh, I mean, I finished. I don't know if you have any question. Let me know. Um, I would like to know what's your opinion about everything that I have shown. Um, let's see. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes. Um, I'm sorry because I couldn't see anything about your messages because I was in screen. I mean, I was sharing my screen and I couldn't see your messages. Hello from Vietnam. Hello. Hi. Hi. Okay. Sangwan, what about non-verbal behavior of the applicant? Do you have video interview? Of course, as I told you, the chatbot is able to record a short video, and then in the platform, you will be able to have all this information for every single candidate. And the most important thing is that you have the score of the candidate. If the score is, let's see, for example, let's say 75%, in this case, the candidate would be okay in order to go through another steps in the recruitment process. And also you can see the video presentation that the candidate has done. So of course, this is another functionality that you can use using chatbots. What else? Okay, so it says, well, chatbots is smart. Okay, and that's a great question, of course. What else? Do you have any other question? Now is the time for I mean, whatever you want. Let's see. Let me see because I'm not used to use this platform. But okay, do you have clients where chatbots that you provide were used by global mobility teams? Mm-hmm. Voice recognition supporting various languages? Of course. This is not a problem for this technology. You can use these voice recognitions. Normally, in smartphones, is I mean, it become from the smartphone. So the only thing that you have to do is to activate this option, and it's something automatically. The thing is, we don't recommend that much this voice recognition. Why? Because imagine that I'm doing a chatbot interview, and I'm in, I mean, in a place, in my home or in the office or whatever, and you are talking with your smartphone like an idiot, I would say, no? I mean, for an interview, we don't recommend that much, but of course, this is a functionality that we can use. Second question, just curious, how long did you take your team to create this? Okay, the time that we use and we spend to create a chatbot, it depends about the requirements of the company. Normally, it lasts around 1 month and a half to develop everything. Depending of each customer or client, normally they want to adjust a lot of things in terms of the conversation, the pictures, the look and feel of the chatbot. This is something that is depending of the company. Some companies are really picky, let's say, in order to develop a conversation as they want. And some others, they permit us to do whatever they want in terms of, construction of the conversation. And and that's it. This is not a problem for us. In some other option, in some other cases, we do it even faster. So in terms of speed to create these chatbots with our team of developers, this is not a big problem. And also the other thing, it's important. We have a lot of experience in HR. So my partner, he was also HR director for another big companies, and this is something that we put like one of our strengths are our experience in HR in multinationals. And when we talk with the HR director or the talent manager, we create this very good atmosphere because they understand us and the opposite. So the conversation normally runs in a very good way. So okay, I don't have any other questions. I have 3 questions that I try to respond. I don't know. Do you have any other question? For me, we have a few minutes left, so you have to do some other questions. For me, would be fine. If not, we can end this session. For me, it's been a pleasure. It's a pity because I couldn't see the messages, but if you need more information about my company or about my professional career or whatever, you can find me in LinkedIn, and I would be, for me, it would be a pleasure to talk with you with calmly and in other situation more than in this session. I would like to say thank you, RP, again for the opportunity to be here. For me, it's a pleasure, and that's it. Thank you very much for everything, and take care. Thank you. Bye bye.